Students, welcome to day 21 of 30 days commerce revision plan. Hope you are following the study plan regularly. If you had not watched my previous videos, kindly watch, like, share and subscribe. Students, let us see day 21 questions. Very short answer from lesson 16, sixth question. Write short notes on Consumer Protection Act. Here, the central government enacted comprehensive law called the Consumer Protection Act in 1986. Comprehensive law, it covers completely all or everything related to consumer protection. So this act came into force with effect from 15/4/1987, and this act was further amended in 1993, and it is referred in short as COPRA. This Consumer Protection Act seeks to protect and promote the interest of the consumers. It provides and safeguards the consumers against defective goods, deficient services, unfair trade practices, and other forms of their exploitation. So this Consumer Act is of great importance because it is the latest to be adopted. Recently, even medical services also brought under its scope. So the act shall apply to all goods and services across board. This Consumer Protection Act 1986 does not create any rights or any extra privileges to consumer, but it has emerged as a new forum, that is, new council for the settlement of disputes relating to the sale of goods. So I have taken so many points. You can write 3 to 4 points to explain about this act. Next question is write short notes on right to information. See here, consumers should be given all the relevant facts about the product so that they can take intelligent decision on purchasing the product. By going through this, they decide whether to buy this product or not. So the package should contain the full details about the name of the product, composition, dosage, date of manufacturing, date of expiry, batch number, warnings, etc. In addition, it should clarify as to the name of the manufacturer, price with or without tax. So this is one of the rights of the consumer, right to information. And next also, it is also concerned with the rights of consumer, and it is right to safety. So there may be few products that are more likely to cause physical danger to consumers' health, lives and property. So they may contain possibly harmful substances which are dangerous from the consumer welfare point of view. So the best example we can show here is food. Uh, Here in food, additives, colors, and emulsifiers, preservatives are added. So the health hazards which are likely to arise have to be eradicated. So it should be reduced altogether. In case of food items, the drugs, both life-saving and sustaining safety, should be guaranteed. So that is there in the right to safety. Next, we move to short answers, entrepreneur and manager. Difference between this is a 3 mark question, but I have taken 5 points, so you can write 3 points here. The motive of the entrepreneur. The aim of an entrepreneur is to start a venture by setting an entity, by an organization. Here, the manager motive is render service, giving service in an organization for the execution of venture. Venture is undertaking. They have undertaken to do something. So in that project, in that undertaking, manager will give his service. Status. Here the status of entrepreneur is owner, and here manager is a salaried employee in the entity set up for carrying on the venture. Now risk bearing. Here the entrepreneur bears the eventual risk, the result of the operation. Sometimes it may not be, every time it may not be a profit. Sometimes he may have to, he has to bear some risk, and so that will be borne by the entrepreneur. Here manager does not bear any risk in the venture. If the venture is successful, or if he is not at all going to be benefited, then he can simply quit the organization and go somewhere. Rewards here, entrepreneurs reward is profit for the risk bearing exercise. The reward for entrepreneurs is totally uncertain. You cannot be guaranteed that he will always have profit in his business. So here manager's reward is regular and certain. He gets salary, bonus, some allowance that he will get regularly. An entrepreneur requires a creative talent. Intuition is knowing something without reasoning, that is immediate understanding. And he should have a urge for innovation. He should have a desire, wish to innovate, create something new. But manager requires conceptual skills. Conceptual skill is he should approach the complicated workplace with variety of solutions. And human relation skills here, why he should possess is he should able to understand the human behavior, and he should be capable of communicating effectively, and he should be a capable person to motivate the individuals to achieve their objectives. So these are the skills he requires. So here I have given 5 points. You can take any 3 points if it is asked in 3 marks. Now next is list down the commercial functions of an entrepreneur and explain them briefly. Now we'll see the commercial functions, that is he will produce, or he will produce, and then marketing, accounting, finance, human resource management. These are the 5 points here, and they asked you to explain briefly. So one or two sentence you explain each heading. First one is production. Production, the entrepreneur has to take decision. First he has to select the factory site, and he has to design and layout and type of product, what type of product he is going to manufacture, and research and development he should conduct, and then product design, etc. This all will be decided in this first function. Okay, so deciding about the production and the factory site. And next is marketing. As soon as it is produced, it has to be taken to the market. So in what way he is going to do that? So before that he will be having a survey. Okay, consumer research, product planning and development, standardization, packing, pricing, warehousing, all these production functions he has to consider in this stage. Promotion, how he is going to promote his product, etc. And accounting, here he has to do the function of preparing trading and profit and loss account to know the profit or loss incurred out of the operation during a particular for the year. And then he has to prepare the balance sheet to know the financial status of a business at a particular day. And then finance, he has to decide from where he is going to raise the money, and the right type of financing, framing the best dividend policy. If he is going to issue shares to the public, and then what is the policy, dividend policy, and how he is going to acquire the fund, etc. He will decide in this function. And then human resource management, he has to exactly find out how much manpower is required in the organization, that he has to discover. So these are the functions of commercial functions. Next is promotional functions. Here 8 functions are there, but I have explained only 5. Here promotional is establishing the organization. In that stage, what are the functions he is carrying out, the entrepreneur? Okay, first he discover the idea, and the discovering of an idea may be through several ways. He has his own experience, or his exposure as an entrepreneur, he may discover something. And then keen observation of environment through education, training, market survey, even through environmental scanning and all, he can get an idea of starting a business. And then he has to determine the business objectives. Okay, at the backdrop of nature of business, what is going to do, or is he going to produce the goods, or he is going to trade the already produced goods. So all these things he has to choose. That will be happening in this second function. And then next is and then he will go for a detailed investigation. And here the entrepreneur has to analyze the product proposes to produce, the thing which he has in his mind he is proposed to produce, that he has to undergo a detailed information, analyzing the collecting the information. And then he has to investigate what are the feasibility, that is possibility of the product proposed to be produced, and conduct markets study, whether it is possible to sell it, whether it will get a potential demand, a sizable demand will his product will get. That all he will investigate in this stage. And then next is he will choose the form of enterprise. Is he going to have a small size, or like a sole proprietor, or partnership, or company form, or cooperative? That he will decide here. And then next is mobilizing the fund. First he can decide whether he is going to raise the fund of his own, or from his closest circle, friends and relatives, or through bank or financial institution. That he will decide in this function. And then next is procurement, acquiring machines and materials. After raising all these functions, he will acquire the machines, equipments, and materials to start the production. Next is long answer. It is from lesson 17. Rights of consumer. There are many rights given in the textbook, but I have chosen only 5 rights, so that already you study 2 rights, 3 rights in the short answers. One is protection of health and right of safety, and then right to be informed. One more answer, right to be heard. Not that right, not, I'm sorry, a right to seek redressal. So 3 rights you are already learning in short answer. So only 2 more rights you have to learn, so that you can write. These 2 we saw in the short answers: right to be informed and right to choose. The seller should give more choice to choose. He let the consumer to choose, okay, according to his taste and preferences. And right to be heard. If the consumer have every right to ventilate, he can express. Ventilate here means express and register his or her dissatisfaction, disagreement, and get the complaint heard at, or aired, talk, spread, broadcast. This right is vital. This right is, it is very important right, one of the important rights of consumers. So business enterprises should lend a compassionate ear. They should listen to the complaints or grievances of consumers. So all the business enterprises, they should have a separate department to attend to the grievances of the consumers. And right to seek redressal. Only the organization should not only listen, but they have to do, if the consumers are affected, okay, so they have to be paid, they have to be compensated for the loss sustained by them. So that proper settlement of complaints and claims lodged by the aggrieved is here affected customers. So when they are compensated for their loss, then that will boost the consumer confidence and help render, they have to help, the organization should help to give justice to the buyers. So there should be fair and just settlement of deserving claims in a definite time frame. Next, we are going to see the duties of consumers. Here also, I have taken only 5 easy duties. The first one is buying quality products at reasonable price, reading the label carefully, beware of false and attractive advertisements, buying standardized product, follow the instruction. So when the consumer is about to buy any product, then he should purchase, and first of all he should get the knowledge about its price, quality, and other terms and condition. If possible, he can even go to the government shop and stores. He can inquire the price, so that he will get an idea about the price, and later he can buy from the shop where he wants to buy. And next is he should read the label carefully, and then he should follow the information given in the label, and he should be aware of the false and attractive advertisement. He should not misled by the fraudulent advertisement, and he should always buy the standardized product. He should never compromise for the quality. Okay, so he has to, that is his duty, and he has to follow the instruction of the manufacturer. All the instruction, if it is for medicine or if it is for electronic products, he should follow the instructions given by the manufacturer. Okay students, thank you for watching this video. I hope you will learn these 8 questions of today's study plan. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe.